Chapter 3, Step 1, Know Thyself, Strengths. The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates. First, we need to take stock of where you are today. Knowing you are perfect exactly as you are right now, what do you want to take into your future, and what would you like to leave behind? Let's do a personal assessment of strengths and weaknesses and energetically heal the body, mind, and spirit, removing blocks and limiting behaviors. This is like giving your car once over to clear out the rubbish, making sure you have packed everything you need, filling it up with gas, changing the oil, securing roadside assistance, and taking it for a test drive to make sure it's in working and safe order. This is a know thyself assessment. The adage, know thyself, crossed my path in Western civilization class in high school as a contribution of the ancient Greek philosophers. Plato established the essence of knowledge is self-knowledge. The notion of self-knowledge and its importance in the human quest for enlightenment is evident in numerous cultures before the Greeks. Ancient coffin texts from as early as 2000 BC contain information about the importance of self-knowledge. Confucius, in imperial China, based his teachings on the ancient text called the I Ching and states, when we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inward and examine ourselves. The Hindu sacred texts, the Upanishads, proclaim, inquiry into the truth of the self is knowledge. Centuries later, the Sufi poet Rumi asks, and you? When will you begin that long journey into yourself? Sage Patanjali, considered to be the father of modern yoga, presented the essential study of self before 400 CE in the Yoga Sutras. These sutras outline the tenets of the yoga lifestyle. One of these sutras is the study of oneself and involves self-inquiry and self-examination to help you get to know yourself as a part of the collective consciousness. As your knowledge about yourself grows deeper, your connection to the higher power strengthens. Humans are and always have been in search of truth and identity. We are predisposed to search for enlightenment, wanting to be closer to our true nature, living the life we were intended to live. The path to enlightenment involves looking inward, examining our thoughts and behaviors, and assessing whether those aspects are worth saving or need to be removed from our lives. We need to know where we are so that we can determine where to go from here and what we want to take along the journey. What resources do we currently have and what do we still need? Our GPS system must have a starting point. You are perfect. Whoever you are right now, no matter how broken or in pain, is precisely how God or the universe needed you to be to do the work you are meant to do on this planet. To know the people you know, have the experiences you have had, feel the compulsions you feel. You are starting from a place of perfection. There's no other way you could or should be. That said, you don't need to stay that way, the way you are, or remain in the life you are living if this is not serving you. Now is the time for you to rise from the space you are in and take action toward becoming a better version of yourself. Become the person you were meant to be. Stop telling the story without the happy ending. Stop making excuses for why your life isn't working. Now is the time for life transformation. Wake up from dysfunction and pain. Transmute the energy into love and lessons for others. It's time to take responsibility for your life, happiness, and health. Tell the story of how you broke free of discomfort and limitations and transform your circumstances. Specific people will hear you. You can tell your story like no one else can. Help others heal based on your path of healing, learning, changing, creating, and living. Start a business or movement or improve your work environment based on this awkward soul or this awakened soul. Change your part of the world. Perfect means something different from what we think it means. The universe made us perfectly imperfect. Who or how we are may not match society's ideal of perfect. A size 6, married with children, working a 6-figure job while maintaining a 4,000 square foot McMansion and volunteering on the weekends, or whatever ideal you hold as perfect, as established by the societal influences to which we've been exposed. The standard of perfection is set by marketing mavens whose job it is to sell McMansions and nice cars. People who fit society's ideal have a unique and special audience to serve, and that is equally important. Think everything in your life up until now, every piece of heart, every piece of pain, every joy, every love, every thought that has brought you to this moment. Paul Selig in the book of Knowing and Worth. Most of us, though, have a different audience. Mine is the average American who believes there's something bigger and better they should be doing with their life. My client wants a job that means something. She or he wants to start his or her own business to bring something new into this world. My tribe buys old houses and fixes them up, buys clothes from the Goodwill and from artists who sell their goods at street fairs. My people are all shapes and sizes and confidently own whatever size they are. We need to be all sizes to make the proper impact in our world. Look at Oprah. She is a different size all the time. One of the reasons she is so impactful is her public struggle with her weight. She is real, and her voice and life resonates with millions of people. It is because of this struggle that her story is so helpful, and partly why she has made such a significant impact in this world. Your unique voice, based on your unique experiences, is what matters most. Let's define that unique voice. A great many people are suffering right now. The chaos in the world is overwhelming. We are more detached from each other than ever before, despite being connected through our devices. People are angry, depressed, lost, and stuck. We need people to emerge from this place and tell their story. Those who have suffered the most often tell the best or most authentic story. Being who you are with your unique strengths, weaknesses, and experiences is essential for you to serve your higher purpose. All our experiences, comfortable and uncomfortable, good or bad, right or wrong, are key to the person you need to have the voice you have, the tribe you have, and the understanding you have to make the impact you are intended to make. I believe we plan with God or the universe before we come to the earth what we will do while here. We are given a scenario and agree to it or not. If we agree, we forget everything, move our essence into a soul, our essence or soul into a tiny body, and go about life, doing what we agreed to do. It may be a rough life or a wonderful one, likely a good bit of both. Either way, throughout the process, we have certain experiences, comfortable and uncomfortable, and the opportunity to grow and change, to rise from the ashes of our challenging life and help people do the same. Because of our life transformation, we can help people. We are put here to help. Challenges often become gifts. When I was 19, I was date raped by an acquaintance of my uncle. I'd gone to this guy's parents' house in the mountains above Boulder, Colorado, to hang out, thinking his parents would be there. When I arrived, there was no one there but the two of us. The weather was blizzardy. Immediately, I felt alarmed and wondered whom I could call to come and get me. I couldn't think of anyone. I didn't know where I was. Where to say I was, anyways. This was before cell phones and Uber existed. This awful event wreaked havoc in my life in many ways, limiting my relationships, changing my behavior, and dimming my happy, carefree spirit. I've done a great deal of personal growth work around it, and now I can talk about it without care or without charge or anger. While I wouldn't wish such an event on anyone, I can see that I emerged from it changed, stronger, and clearer on what I wanted for myself. Had I been less trusting and adventurous, I may have been able to avoid the situation. However, my trusting nature and my adventurous spirit are two aspects I love about myself. If I could go back in time and change myself to avoid the sexual violation, I'm not sure I would. Because of this rape, I laid down very specific requirements or must-haves for all future relationships, boundaries, essentially. After taking a long hiatus from dating following the horrible event, I met my husband, who is exactly what I asked for based on the must-haves that resulted from the bad experience. More about the must-haves in Chapter 5, Defining the Future. This was the gift I received as a result of facing up to that challenge. Such challenges may seem too daunting for us. We can always find reasons why we are not worthy of the task of carrying out our mission on this planet. But how magnificent to define the mission clearly and go forth with full confidence, willingness, and determination. Marianne Williamson said it perfectly in Return to Love, Reflections on the Principles of A Course in Miracles. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. It is time to rise up and make things happen for yourself. The Garden of the Mind. The first step toward life transformation and living your true nature is self-assessment. Looking inside at what is working and what doesn't serve us. What are the thoughts in your head? What are the repeating tapes that play and inform your behavior? Where did these thoughts originate? This process of going inward is productive and self-nourishing, though may also be a bit rough and uncomfortable. It is not a time to judge yourself for what is happening in your mind and life, merely to witness it and determine what needs to stay or go. This is healthy discernment. The self-assessment process is not easy. Some people hate doing this. When have you ever had to do this work? Perhaps when writing a resume, few people enjoy doing that. Trust the process. If you do this work, it will be cathartic and healing. It is an essential part of the life transformation process. There is no one on this plane who can tell you who you are with more authority than you. Paul Selig. Focus on yourself for a time. Self-assessment is the first step in the healing process. Healing the mind is like preparing the garden before you plant. Let's prepare or clean the garden by pulling the weeds, tilling the soil, removing the debris, and defining its borders. Preparation is hard work, but worth it in the end. Let's rake through the soil to see what we uncover. Soon we will determine what we want to grow in our garden and get planting. My rose garden. There is a rose garden outside my window at home. The roses are very old, planted by the original owner or builder of the house. Some of the roses no longer bloom, characteristic of hybrid tea roses. They have broken from their graft and now don't know how to grow. They stick out in all directions and bear no flowers. The roses still growing, according to their original graft, are standing tall. The roses bud out and show their loveliness and glory, but then are attacked and eaten by Japanese beetles, non-native iridescent green bugs, leaving them tattered and torn. Oh yes, there are weeds too. Not a lot, but enough to show no one is watching very closely or paying much attention to the garden. My husband planted invasive hops along two edges of the garden. Honoring his need for hops as a beer brewer, I carefully prune them away from the roses and nearby grapevines, but they are relentless, all prickly and strangling. Yikes. Also, the roses have black spots. This fungus gets on the leaves midsummer, turning them yellow and making them drop. The rose stalks are left bare and unproductive. Funny thing, from a distance, this rose garden looks gorgeous and is something to celebrate. It is trying to be as beautiful as possible But when you get up close, you see all the sorts of things need attention. This garden needs some help. This rose garden could be a metaphor for my mental landscape, for my life, in fact. Those old habits that once had a purpose now just waste precious time and energy. My creativity is nibbled at by self-doubt. I can be distracted by meaningless busyness. While I want to honor others' dreams, I must make sure they don't swallow up my own. And regularly, I need to nurture myself and stay healthy so I can blossom. For instance, I have people in my life who are toxic, limiting my growth and development. I would be better served by having friends who support my transformation. It's important to recognize the healthy and unhealthy aspects of yourself so you can fertilize what you want more of and pull out what is not serving you. Now it's your turn. What does the garden of your mind look like right now? Wildflowers or roses, weeds, dump site, rocks. Take a moment to write a description of your mind in terms of a garden or nature. This is you. These are your answers. So nothing is wrong. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and see your mind's garden. Describe it beginning. This is what my mind garden looks like. This is part of the process of knowing thyself. Who have you become is essential knowledge. So you know where to go from here and what sort of healing needs to happen. You can answer these questions by writing directly in the blank spaces of this book, or grab an inspiring journal and answer using your deepest knowing. You can also download the Know Thyself Pocket Guide to Figuring Yourself Out at www.beckyprater.com. This companion booklet is a compilation of all the questions in this book and will serve as a workbook. Assessing your strengths. Let's identify the treasures of your mind and self that serve you well, what you want more of. It's like looking in the garden to see what is worth saving, what needs fertilizing and protecting so it can grow and flourish. In a business plan, SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. These are the strengths. Here are my strengths. I love people, and I'm best in a situation where I can work one-on-one or in small groups of people. I am a doer, and I can get a lot done in a short amount of time. I'm good at making things happen and have tremendous determination. This is both helpful and at times some things are not supposed to happen the way I envision them. I'm a channel changer. If I don't like a song, I change the channel. In life, if I don't like something, I take steps to change it. I'm a good listener and a creative problem solver. Now it's your turn to toot your own horn and identify your strengths. No one's going to read this. You are not bragging because this is a self-assessment. And who cares if you are bragging? We all have strengths, and it's time to put them on paper. Eventually, you will use your strengths to formulate a plan for the future. Begin by answering these questions. What makes me unique? What do I receive the most compliments on? What do I bring to the workspace that deserves recognition? What makes me light up and makes me feel great? What do I love to do more than anything? Next, create an I am list. Rather than beginning with the things like mother, husband, sister, daughter, friend, teacher, include things that won't change with your circumstances. I am loved, loving, lovable. I am strong and vibrant. I'm a dedicated partner. If you lose everything, what would remain? Here you are identifying the real, authentic you that is unshakable. Don't think too much about this, just go with your gut. Answer quickly and trust your inner wisdom. Then circle the items on the list of which you are most proud. Now is a good time to pause the recording and answer the previous questions. When you're ready, here are a few more questions. My good qualities, gifts, talents, skills, characteristics are. My greatest accomplishments so far are. What resources do I have that make me uniquely capable? What resources do I need to live a happier life and accomplish my goals? How will I know when I'm successful? What defines success for me? The three most important values, qualities, and factors in my life today are. These books and movies have transformed or deeply affected my life. The people who have had the most impact on me are. Answering these questions enables you to identify what is good about you. It helps you recognize why you are great, worth loving, unique, and valuable. Don't hold back in your answers. No one's going to read these. Ask the ego to step aside because this is about the true you, not the egoic you. What do I do with this information about my strengths? The mere process of looking inside, defining, choosing, and moving helps us sort out our lives. You now own it. We don't often hear from others how great we are. And when we do receive a compliment about our strengths, we often deflect the praise. When you define your strengths, you grab hold of the idea of your wonder and greatness, feeling self-love and acceptance. You are reminding yourself of your beauty by doing this self-assessment. This changes things because you won't feel loved from others until you deem yourself worthy of love. You won't believe in your greatness when someone points it out unless you already know your greatness and can say, "Thank you for the kind words," rather than, "Oh, geez, really?" Owning your greatness or self-love is essential for success. It might be the gas that fuels your car as you drive it toward your ideal GPS coordinates.